Hello students, we will continue with chapter number 11, Human Body and Organ System for Standard 8, Subject Science. This is part 2 of the video. We will begin with the study of the respiratory system. Here we will study the structure and the functions of the different organs which are present in the respiratory system. Human respiratory system consists of all those organs which are involved in the process of breathing. So the different organs of the respiratory system are nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea, lungs and diaphragm. The nose, pharynx, larynx and trachea work like a system of pipes through which air is carried to our lungs. The main purpose of the respiratory system is to supply oxygen to all the body cells and to remove carbon dioxide from the body. Take a look at the diagram and try to understand the different parts of the respiratory system. The first part is the nose. This is followed by the pharynx, the larynx, the trachea. The trachea branches out into two bronchus, bronchioles, and these are the two lungs, and this is the diaphragm. So let us do a detailed study of the respiratory system. We begin with the first organ of the respiratory system, which is the nose. You see, the nose is divided into two nasal cavities. So this is one nasal cavity and this is the second nasal cavity, or we also call them as the nostrils. There is a wall or a structure which is separating the two nostrils from each other, and this wall which is present in the nose, which separates out the two nostrils or the two nasal cavities, is called as the septum. So the septum very clearly separates the right nostril from the left nostril. You will find there are many tiny hairs which are present on the walls of the nostrils. These hairs carry out a very important function because these hairs trap the foreign particles and prevent them from further moving into the system. Air also becomes warm and moist when it passes through the nostrils. There is presence of mucus in the nasal passage, and this mucus helps in trapping the dust particles and from further moving into the system. The next organ of the respiratory system is called as a pharynx. When we inhale the air passes through the nasal cavity and it moves into a wide hollow space. This hollow space is called as the pharynx. The pharynx is a common pathway for the air and the food to pass. Why is it so? Because when we breathe in the air will pass from the nose into the pharynx. When we eat food, the food will pass from the mouth into the pharynx. So pharynx is a common pathway for air and food to pass. The food pipe and the windpipe opens or originate into the pharynx. So you see, this is your pharynx. The pharynx further continues as a food pipe and the windpipe. So this is a common place for the food and air to pass. So when we eat the food will pass into the food pipe, and when we breathe in the air will move from the nose to the pharynx and from the pharynx into the windpipe. You will find that the windpipe is in front of the food pipe. So the food pipe is behind. The food pipe is also called as the esophagus, and the windpipe is also called as the trachea. There is a lid which is present at the beginning of the windpipe, and this lid is called as the epiglottis. The presence of epiglottis at the opening of the trachea is very important. Because when we eat the food, the food has to move from the mouth into the pharynx, and from the pharynx it should move into the food pipe. If by chance if the epiglottis is open, then the food particles gain an entry into the windpipe and we may choke or we start coughing. So whenever the food is taken inside, the epiglottis will close the tracheal opening, and therefore the food will move from the mouth into the pharynx and from the pharynx into the food pipe. Air from the pharynx enters into the windpipe. The next part of the respiratory system is the larynx. The larynx is also called as the voice box. The larynx connects the throat to the windpipe. So this part is called as a larynx. It connects the throat to the windpipe. At the opening, it has got a lid-like structure which is called as a epiglottis to prevent the food from entering into the windpipe. In men, the larynx is visible from outside and is called as the Adam's apple. The larynx plays another important role of production of sound. Trachea or windpipe. The trachea has another name which is called as a windpipe. The trachea is a tube-like structure which enters into the chest, and it allows the air to flow from the nose into the lungs. The trachea gives out two branches, and each of the branches enter into the lungs. The branching which is given out from the trachea are called as the bronchus. The trachea is swollen at the beginning because of the presence of the voice box. Bronchi. The trachea splits up into two tubes. Each of the tube is called as the bronchi. The bronchi further divides and redivides into smaller branches, and the branching of the bronchi is called as the bronchioles. You will find that each of the bronchi, when it terminates, it enters into the lungs. The left bronchus enters into the left lung and the right bronchus enters into the right lung. At the ends of the bronchioles, there are these sac-like structures which are called as the alveoli, and these alveolar sacs are filled with air. Lungs. Lungs are the main organs of the respiratory system. Each lung is present on either side of the heart in the thoracic cavity, that is the chest cavity. Maximum area of the thoracic cavity is occupied by the lungs. Each lung has a double layered covering which is called as the pleura. The lungs are elastic like a sponge. Each lung contains many sac-like structures or compartments which are filled with air, and these sacs are called as the alveoli. Alveoli. Alveoli are the sac-like structures which are present in the lungs. These sacs are filled with air. Each of the alveolus is surrounded by many thin walled capillaries. So these red colored and blue colored blood vessels are called as capillaries. These capillaries are thin walled. So exchange of gases can take place between the capillaries and the alveolus. When we breathe in air containing oxygen, the alveolar sac gets filled with air, and this air is very rich in oxygen. Blood contains a red colored pigment called as hemoglobin, and hemoglobin has a great affinity for oxygen. So as soon as the alveolar sac gets filled with oxygen, the hemoglobin takes up the oxygen from the alveolar sac, that is, oxygen is absorbed by the hemoglobin into the blood. As soon as oxygen mixes with the blood becomes pure, and this oxygenated blood is transported to the different parts of the body. Simultaneously, there are blood vessels which contain carbon dioxide. So, this carbon dioxide has to be removed from the blood, or it has to be expelled from the blood. So, what will happen now? The carbon dioxide which are present in these blood capillaries will diffuse through the walls of the alveoli into the alveoli, and from the alveoli the carbon dioxide will be expelled out of the respiratory system through the nose. The next part is called as the diaphragm. This muscular partition or the dome shaped muscle which is present below the lungs is called as a diaphragm. The diaphragm is present between the thoracic cavity and the abdominal cavity. यानी ये diaphragm कहाँ present है? Chest cavity और abdominal cavity, यानी ये पेट का जो region है यहाँ पर present है. So it lies between the thoracic cavity and the abdominal cavity. And this diaphragm allows us to breathe. Let us see the mechanism of breathing in human beings. What happens during inhalation and what happens during exhalation. So, here when the diaphragm contracts, that is, when the diaphragm moves downwards, then the pressure of air inside the lungs decreases and the volume of the thoracic cavity increases. So, as soon as the pressure of air inside the lungs decreases, what we do is we suck in air or we breathe in air through the nose. And when the air enters the lungs, the alveolar sacs get filled with oxygen. During the process of exhalation, the diaphragm relaxes. That is, the diaphragm moves upward, and when the diaphragm relaxes or moves upwards, the volume of the thoracic cavity or the chest cavity decreases and the pressure of air inside the lungs increases, and this causes the air which is present to push out of the nasal cavity, leading to exhalation.